Warning: the following presentation includes solely ideas from the Europe West suggestion forums. It doesn't include actual upcoming champions. All abilities have been performed by professional dummies and no champions have been heard in the making.
Welcome, summoners, to the newest edition of the Community Champion Suggestion Spotlight. This time we will bring you Dezzan, the Living Star, created by summoner Minact. Dezzan is a bursty mage who relies on mana and a unique resource called Emulation. Ability power scales not only his damage, but also the size of his spells, making him a very powerful opponent. His innate passive is called Utilize and generates Emulation as a second unique resource. Every time Dezzan takes 10 points of damage from a champion, he generates a charge of Emulation. Each charge of Emulation grants him a bit less mana cost on the next spell cast. When the spell is cast, the Emulation charges needed to reduce the cost down to a maximum of 0 mana are removed. For each charge spent, his spells deal extra magic damage, increasing with level. On reaching 90 charges, he explodes, dealing damage around him and restoring an amount of mana. His first ability, Mega Flare, is a single target ball-shaped skill shot that can be recast very quickly within a short time frame over and over. If it is not cast again, it goes on cooldown. This skill shot increases in size based on its damage. At the end of the maximum range, the ball starts decreasing in damage and size until it fizzes out. Next up is the second ability called Searing Grasp, which is a single target leash that stuns the target for the first half second of the duration. The enemy takes more magic damage for the duration the closer he is. This ability drains mana the longer it's up. The third skill, Solar Form, is a self-targeted buff that costs HP. While this buff is active, Dezzan gains tons of AP, scaling up max health, but he loses all of his health regen. Targets within range take damage every second. Damage is doubled in the inner half of the AoE. Range is based on Dezzan's AP. Last but not least, his ultimate, Rune Tyrrhenian Sun. This is a self-centered area of effect spell. On activation, 12 orbs are spawned, flying towards Dezzan. If an enemy champion is hit, the orb deals magic damage and disappears. Every orb that reaches Dezzan powers his ongoing fusion explosion, creating a large AoE blast that moves with him and increases in size for each orb that reaches Dezzan. Each orb that does not hit an opponent and reaches Dezzan generates a large chunk of Emulation. Charges from Rune Tyrrhenian Sun can actually exceed the limit of 90 charges, adding additional damage. His playstyle is fairly difficult. He needs to get close to reach his full damage potential, but his only CC is a half-second stun. While his Q can allow for a long-range poking, all his other skills deal more damage the closer you are. Combined with the spam ability of Q, it makes him a surprise burster when played well. Since you're getting close, make sure your rune and mastery pages are somewhat defensive so you won't be killed quickly. Building him, I'd recommend a simple boot pot start since movement is so vital for him. Buy a few Doran's rings for better overall stats. Try to get a Rod of Ages and or Realize based on preference. Rod of Ages gives a lot of sustain and Realize allows you to get closer easier due to the passive slow. Abyssal Scepter is a good choice due to the fact you're getting close, thus you'll be using the aura. Since your E gives AP, it's okay to build a bit more tanky than other casters, ensuring that you won't be focused down in the middle of a big fight. Other items, such as Rabadon's Death Cap, may be helpful if you plan to build as a pokey assassin, while items such as Sonia's Hourglass may be used for a more tanky build. Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode of the CCSS. If you liked it, give a thumb up. If you didn't, give one down. Feel free to subscribe to our channel above or leave a comment in the comment section below. Who knows, maybe you will be the next winner. Until then, have a nice day and see you next time on the CCSS.